So, guys, I wanted to share this story with you. Some of you may be aware of certain aspects of this story, but I wanted to share with you just to encourage and motivate those of you who are not able to get your interviews, whose interviews have been cancelled, who are not able to get your visa for the DV 2023, or whichever years that will come after this. But I wanted this story to encourage you guys. So my dad came to America for school. He came to America for his graduate education, and so he applied for the DV lottery, and that was the DV 97. So for DV 97, when my father won, because he was already here in America, his journey was a little different from the people who are outside of the United States. When you win the lotto and you are in America, you have to do adjustment of status, and that was what my father had to do. Because he had a student visa, he needed to adjust his status and become a permanent resident. And so for us, myself, my sibling, and my mom, we were back home in Africa. So we couldn't start the journey until my father had finished his. That is how it is. If the winner is in America, the winner will have to start this before the rest of their derivatives can also do this. So my father had to go through the adjustment of status and let the adjustment of status be approved before he can notify State Department or KCC. But at that time, it was, I believe it was through NVC. I'm not sure about this part. But that time, it was through NVC because KCC just started the operation in the early 2000s. So when my dad notified them that, hey, notify USCIS, we are done. I'm done with my adjustment of status. Can you now proceed with my family that is in Ghana? Right? Luckily, my father's case number was around 2,000, less than 3,000. So his case number wasn't bad. So after my father had finished his adjustment of status, he contacted State Department and let them know that we are ready to do ours. And so everything was sent to the, for us to, now fill our DS-260, and which was done by my father. Fill the DS-260 for all of us, and then for the case to be processed, and then now sent to the embassy in Accra, Ghana, for us to go for our interview. Guys, one thing that you need to understand was that this was a time where a lot of the process was not electronic. So everything was just snail mail, paperwork. You fill the paperwork and then you post it to them. So my father will have to fill the whole thing on paper and then post it to them. And that was how things were back then. When time came for us to go for an interview, we got an actual letter through the postal mail inviting us to come for an interview at the US Embassy in Accra. When we went for the interview, we just took the things that were there because during that time, there were not a lot of information out there. My father had done his adjustment of status here. He had shown affidavit of support or everything that he needed because as he was a student, he was working. So he was able to sponsor himself and all that. But when we went for the interview, we didn't have affidavit of support because we didn't think that we needed it. And went for the interview, they were like, everything is fine, but we need you to bring affidavit of support. And we need your father to bring it from America to us. We need somebody in America to do the affidavit of support. Then times, now the US Embassy in Accra, Ghana doesn't ask for affidavit of support for DV lottery winner, but back in the day, they used to. So my father sent the affidavit of support directly to the embassy. And remember, you cannot just show up to the embassy. When you send it to the embassy through DHL, it was received, somebody signed for it at the embassy. We waited and waited and waited and waited and waited for the embassy to acknowledge that they have received it. My father was, now communicating with the embassy, trying to see, have you received this? They kept saying they haven't received it. It's like, somebody, DHL has brought this thing there. Somebody signed it. This is the person's last name. And I perfectly, like, I so vividly remember the name. It's like somebody signed for it, and this person's last name is this, agent, this. How come you people are saying you never received it? The name is not even a local Ghanaian name, so that you can blame it on a Ghanaian. This is a name that is very common in America. So it wasn't like, it's not even a common English last name. It's a name, definitely, it has to be a foreigner, right? Somehow the embassy said they never got it. And so after September 30th had passed, the embassy sent us a letter through the mail that the DV 97 has expired and is over. We are no longer entitled to a visa. Guys, remember, we had done our part. The document that needed to be submitted had arrived at the embassy. Somebody there had signed for it, but somehow the embassy said they never received it. Guys, this was the time of snail mail. I'm talking about postal mail. You send a letter, it will take weeks before it arrives in Africa. So the time that the embassy was saying they haven't received it, my dad was to send another one. It was still going to delay. So unfortunately, that was the end of our journey. Guys, I was broken. I was disappointed because that wasn't the first time that we were trying to pursue traveling outside. Before this process, my father was in Canada and he wanted us to join him over there. That's when we tried. We never got the visa. So this one, we knew that, oh, he has won the lotto. He has, done his part. His part has been approved. So as long as his part has been approved, maybe the visa was already there for us. That was the thinking for me. Okay, if my father has his own concluded and he has been approved, that means that they have put the visa aside for us. Oh, that wasn't it. I was so sure that this thing was going to be successful, but it was out of our hands. It wasn't for anything that we did. We provided them everything they asked for in a timely manner. And still, we miss out on our opportunity. But the good thing for us was that my dad had already, concluded his part, and he could have, and that's how he was able to file for my family to be able to join him later. So the reason why I'm sharing this story with you today is to let you know that I understand the feeling, because even though it was years ago, 1997, the feeling of disappointment, the feeling of heartbreak is still fresh in my memory. I remember where I was when that letter came. My mom was a teacher, and I remember I had gone to his school. I had closed from school. I came to her school because that was what I used to do back in the days. My mom was a teacher in another school. I went to a different school. After my school, I would go to my mom, wait for her to close, and then we'll go home together. And I remember when I went to my mom's school, the letter had arrived, and people were looking at us like, "Ooh, American Embassy has sent a letter." It's like people were curious to see, "Oh, you have received a letter from the U.S. Embassy," like that. And when we was open and we saw that was the end, it was heartbreaking because I was certain that this was our chance, this was our moment for us to come to America. And of course, it took so many years before we were finally able to be reunited as a family, right? The reason why I'm sharing this with you is that don't give up. I understand how you feel, okay? Because I've been in that situation before where I felt that I was helpless. I didn't do anything wrong. But still, I didn't get the outcome that I was looking for. I did everything that I was supposed to do. We did everything that we were supposed to do. So if you're a DV 2023 winner, you may be feeling that way. I did everything that I was supposed to do. I sent my DS-260 on time. And I did everything that I was supposed to do. Those of you who had your interview appointment, you schedule your interview appointment, you medicals, you've done your medicals, and then your interview appointment gets cancelled because they finished their visits. You did what you were supposed to do. Those of you whose interviews were supposed to happen in Nigeria, and Nigeria didn't even attend to you guys, I understand you. You did what you were supposed to do. That is outside of your control. Some of you went for an interview, they put you in AP, and not because you didn't bring a document. Sometimes it could just be because of your name. Because of your last name, they have to do more background check to make sure that you are clean. They have vetted you well before they can allow you to come into their country. So that thing, there's nothing you can do about it. You didn't choose to have that last name. We don't choose our last names. And you didn't know that somebody with your last name was going to do something bad, that you will now have to be under scrutiny. Some of you, maybe you forgot a document. That's why you are in AP. It's not that you intentionally left your document. Some of you had to reschedule your interview. It wasn't your intention that I'm going to reschedule my interview. Some of you, there are some things that happen. Even though there are some instances that you may have played a role in this thing, but there is a good portion that you had good intention. I don't think that there's anybody who will win the DV lottery and intentionally, try to mess it up. Who? Everybody wants to have this success story that others have had. Many others have had. Others want to have the same success story. I wanted that too in 1997. But I had to keep trying, focus until 2006 when I was finally approved my visa. So maybe your journey to America might take a long road like mine. Maybe your journey to America may take half of the time that it took me. Maybe your journey to America may take a quarter time. Maybe you might take another attempt. I've seen people, someone won the DV lottery in 2021, they didn't get their interview, they won in 2022, now they're here in America. The same thing can happen to you. Somebody won the DV lottery, I believe, in 2008, and things didn't go well because of a mistake in the registration. And when they won it in 2022, they got their visa. So what I'm saying is that don't give up. Maybe DV lottery might not be how you enter America. The same way that in Canada, people, if somebody is a student, a graduate student in Canada, it is now easy for them to go there. But it wasn't for me during my time. I couldn't even get the visa to go to live in Canada. But God made it possible for me to come to America. Maybe Canada wasn't the place for me to go. So what I'm trying to let you know is that if it is in your will, if you are determined that you want to immigrate, you want to come to the United States, you want to travel, you want to go to Europe, you want to go to Canada, you want to go to Middle East, you want to go to South America, wherever you want to go, you want to travel to, you want to immigrate to, I'll say don't give up. Don't let one roadblock be the death of your desire. Don't let one roadblock, don't let two roadblocks, don't let three roadblocks be the death of your aspirations to travel or to immigrate to another country. But as long as you don't give up, as long as you keep pushing, it will happen just like it happened for me, 1997 to 2006. I didn't give up. Every year there was something happening. Every year there was a push to make sure that I get the visa until I finally got it. All right. So guys, I just came here to encourage you. Take the moment, heal from the anger, heal from the frustrations. DV 2025 registration will be opening in early October, probably around October 4th. But just look out for the official notice for the announcement date. Put your application in, your registration in it again. Now, those of you who made mistakes and you didn't get your interview appointment, apply for it on your own. I hope that these videos that I've been making has made things clear to you, that you apply for it properly so that things will go well. Stay updated, stay connected. You cannot win the DV lottery and just chill anyhow. You must follow the news, you must follow videos, you must follow content creators who are giving you information. Follow, so that you know when to make quick moves or when not to make certain moves. Take chances, make smart moves. There are some things that we cannot control. I could not have foreseen it. There are some things you could not have foreseen, but you have to keep trying, keep pushing. One day you will share your story. You will share your testimony about how you overcame, how in spite of all of this, you were still able to overcome and be here in America. My heart goes out to you guys, those of you who have been disappointed, whose interview appointment have been cancelled. But stay connected. The journey to America, it might be through student visa, it might be other opportunities, other employment routes. You can use them to come to America. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. You have a long road ahead of you. Don't give up. All right? But guys, thank you so much for sticking around and watching this video. Make sure that you share with someone who may find this beneficial. And if you have found this video beneficial, share with another friend. Share with a friend or two, a brother, sister, friends. Share them on your Facebook platform. Share them on your social media pages. And make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. I love you guys. God be with you. And I'll see you on my next video. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.